Vai na tela do dó.
Hi, Ronnie. Yeah, super amped that you're on as well. Can you feel the energy over there? Can you feel it? I hope you can. Nolu, welcome. Just put yourself on mute, Nolu. Welcome, guys. Super excited that you're here. Yeah, no, it's gonna be awesome. Guys, that's the video I have. Walrus and very powerful things. Yeah.
You hear me now? Cool. Louis Pieta, where are you? Okay, please find your seats. We're going to start with the second session of today.
Guys, we're starting now. Enjoy.
The guys outside, run, run, run. Guys, can you maybe just shift up onto each other or whatever, just so make some space for all the other people who are coming in. Louis, let's go to Yogi then. Okay, let's get started. Okay, so what we're going to do now in the second session is it's a very important thing that we always start off with, and that is recognition. We always have to recognize someone for the hard work that they put in. Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to you also. So, if I may, I'm going to explain this slowly and hopefully clearly. Okay. Everyone that is an existing Value Club member that is on a GRL1 rank, please come forward. Everyone understand? If you are an existing Value Club member and you are on only GRL1, come to the front. And so if you GRL, hello. Yeah, you're connected to that. No, she's dot N. She's dot N. Yeah. Okay. Hey guys. Right, energy up. Frequency. Carry on.
You left to shop.
At least I've got a streaky voice. No, I'm joking. Okay, so what we're going to do now is recognition for it's the first level. Now, GRL1, which is our Galaxy Reward level 1, is 2 people personally signed up into the business. Okay, that makes you qualified, which is GRL1. Okay. So what that means is that the 2 people that you sign up is both paying their $30 to earn the commission. Okay, one on the left, one on the right. This unlocks the opportunity of cycling on CV points. So I've got these trusted people in the front here, Shani and Fani. Shani and Fani. Sounds quite funny. So they are currently Value Club members that have been recognized previously already. And so what we're going to do is we're going to just bring new people up to the stage to welcome them to their new rank. Okay, so firstly, I want to invite Shanine and Shane, if you can come to the stage, please. Yes, sir. Okay, and that side. And then lastly but not least, Nikki Gravett. Well done. And let's just stand here. So, well done, guys. Okay, then we've got one level up, which is then called GRL2. Try that. It's working. Okay, so Galaxy Reward level 2. What does that mean? It means a total of 6 personally signed up into your business. That's 4 more than GRL1, and it's all active members paying their $30. So all the existing Value Club members that are GRL2 to the front, please.
Iggy, can we have some music? That'll be really
Yeah,
fantastic.
come on, Iggy, man, wake up, man.
Okay.
Something that celebrates the moment.
This,
Got to celebrate.
everyone that's been recognized before, eh? Right. Okay, so now we are going to recognize people that hits the rank for the first time. Okay, so the first person that I'm going to call up, and I hope I pronounce your names correctly, is Lizette Mullen. The second person is Tim Coventry. And then the last person is Dean Lowe.
Thank you. Excellent effort. Put it on it, Jan. Put it on
You
it.
can move into the center just for the photograph. All moving to the center so you get the banner.
Done. Congratulations. Well done. Well done.
You tell them. You tell them. You tell them.
Put the new ones in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sing. Sing.
No, one on each side. Come. Oh no, you can be the middle. You can be
One last question.
in the center, Mr. Fencer.
Cool.
you.
Well done.
Well done.
The funny thing is that it's always powerful being welcomed into something. And the mere fact is it just looks good on photograph. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to go straight into the training session. Hello, hello. Hello. Okay, so we're going to go straight into the training session. I'm going to ask the first person to come up. She's well recognized in the industry, a top leader, a true speaker, a true trainer. And let's put our hands together for Dr. Michelle van Donder.
Okay, we've had some challenges today, haven't we? Yes. All right, so in this business, one of the things that I've learned with challenges is you should never call them challenges. There are always opportunities for us to grow. Okay, so for me, I'm not growing very well today. And that's the honest truth. So let's hope we don't have that screaming and shouting in our mouths. Let's hope this has been now sorted out once and for all. But what I'd like you to do to start off with is I want you to just turn to the person next to you and give them one reason why you're in this room right now.
To learn.
Okay, who would like to share why you're in this room? Who would like to share? Yes. Financial freedom. Who else would like to share? Yes. Seamus. Securing your son's financial future. Awesome. Give him a hand. The youngest mama in the room. Yes. Maya in the room. You want to share? Nice one. Yes. Nice. Build a nice business. Awesome. Love it. Yes. To be your own boss. I love it. Nice. You know what the problem is with being your own boss? You're the worst boss.
I'm working on my belief to achieve success.
Belief to achieve success. I like that. Absolutely. Who else would like to share what they're doing? Yes, Michelle.
To learn what I need to do to achieve what I want to achieve.
To learn to do what she wants to achieve. Awesome. Yes. Help others be successful. Nice. Awesome. Okay, so we're all in this room, and how many of you right now, quite honestly, could be somewhere else right now? Thank you for your honesty, okay? But you've chosen to be here. So we're going to do the best that we can, and the information that we're going to share with you today is the hands-on, very important information that we learned firsthand when we were sitting in a room of 40 people with Eric Worre at the Beyond Leadership conference that we flew all the way to Australia for. So I really hope I can do justice to his stuff. But what I can say is I've applied it, and in applying it, I've actually got the Big Kahuna t-shirt. So it was actually in Australia. I decided I was not going to do the Big Kahuna before I left. And while I was in Australia, and we had now spent a morning with Masa and the 12, and we were going into spending some time with Eric Worre, and then it was the first morning at Eric Worre, and I was challenged. And I've had 7 days to go before the Big Kahuna ended. And I hadn't even started. And all I did was I applied these principles here and condensed it to 7 days. And in 7 days, I put 20 people into the business. So you guys can all do 20 in 30. It all depends on if the reason why you're in this room is really the reason why you want to do it. And that's the big difference. So I'm going to challenge you now. I want to stay up front. The information I'm going to give you now is how to achieve 20 people in 30 days. This afternoon, if this project is not for you, we're going to share how you can extend it over 90 days. Okay, so just breathe easy and you're in the right room. The first thing to start off with here is getting the PowerPoint to it. All right, so here's keys to building 20 in 30 launch. So we're launching a team, a new team. Okay, your new team that you're bringing in is going to be these 20 people you're bringing into the room. So the first thing we need to understand is that your numbers matter most. All right, so your numbers, it's very important. So we're talking about numbers. Yeah, I think you did. This is like, okay, right. Okay, so I'll just give you a thumbs up. That'll be my kick as my thumbs up. Thanks, Steve. I really appreciate it. Then, how are you going to lead with the right launch language? We're listening to too many people saying the right thing, but the wrong way. Okay? So we're going to teach you what is the right terminology to use. The next one is how to close your three-way groups and three-way calls. Then we're now going to look at events and why being in this room is so important. And then the fifth one is get started and what are the sacred things that you and I should be doing with the people on their get start. Okay, so that's just
Get scared.
get scared. I think get scared, everybody I like it. Okay, cool, thanks. Eve. So let's look at the numbers that matter most. Right, let's go for it. Now, what you need to do is, and you've heard this over and over before, 200 people you need to invite to look at your business. 200. So what is 200 divided by 30? How many? 200 divided by 30 is? 6. Come on, somebody must have a calculator. I want an answer. 6.5. 6.66. Okay, thank you. So let's go for 7. So all you need to do is expose 7 people per day to your business. It's not that difficult over the next 30 days, is it? Great. Next one. Now, of that 200, 150 will respond and agree to some degree to look at what you've got to offer. 90 of them will physically end up watching your link. 90 of them. Okay? 60 will be interested. 10 to 20 will actually sign up. So it's 10%. Okay? Will actually sign up in your business. That's the reality of the numbers. So you must understand, if you're only showing or exposing your business to 2 people per month, you're literally going to stretch this out, and you cannot say that this business is not a successful business. It's you're not putting success into your business. Okay? Thanks, Eve. So how many conversations will you have to start in order to invite 200 people to look at your business? And that's very important. Very important. Thanks, Eve. Are you still taking pictures? Hold on. Okay, go for it. So, the reason why most of you are giving up on this process is because the magic is only going to happen once you get to above number 100. Because you're learning as you go along. So the very first one you're probably going to mess up. The second one you're probably going to mess up. The third one you're probably going to mess up. The fourth one you're probably going to mess up. The fifth, the sixth, the seventh, the eighth, the ninth, the 10th, you're probably going to mess up. By the 10th one, nobody's interested in your business, so you say it doesn't work. You've got to get to 100. Because what is happening to you as you go through this process is you are mastering chatting to people in different ways. So you'll find that probably up to 100, you've had people say no to you and they're not interested in your project. But the magic's going to happen after 100. Between 100 and 200, you're going to close 20 because you would have known what to do. So the secret to being successful is to actually go through the process up to 100 consistently, daily, saying it over, listening to the objections. So if I was coaching Mafrit, I would say to Mafrit, right now, what I want you to do is I want you to make 10 phone calls. And after those 10 phone calls, you need to tell me what happened on those 10 phone calls. So she'd make her 10 phone calls. She would tell me if it's a warm market, a hot market, or a cold market. And then she's going to say, all of them said no to me. And I'm going to say to her, okay, so what were they saying back to you? Because what they're saying back to her is what she's pitching to them. And then we tweak it from there. Then I say, right, now make another 10 phone calls. What are they saying to you? So the no's might have become maybes. Or should have been another set of no's. Okay, so what do you say? Say it to me, sell it to me. And that's how you're going to get through 10 at a time, 10 at a time, 10 at a time. Now you can see why it's vitally important to have a mentor in this process. to try and do this on your own, you're going to get frustrated and you are going to give up. So find your mentor, get your mentor group. Every day, I've got my mentor group every day, George, Tessa, and a couple of the others in the room here, Michelle and Mahit and Seamus and Robbie and a whole lot of the guys in this room. Every single day, I made so many phone calls. This is what they said. This is who said yes. This is who said no. This is what's going on in my life. And if I see that 3 or 4 times happening over, I get on a one-on-one session with them because the pattern is repeating itself. I've got to stop it after 4 or 5 days. If it's highly successful, then on Monday I need to get them on my team and tell the team what they're doing that's successful. It's a process. This whole thing is a process. Thanks, Eve. So what I want you to do now is I want you to quickly write down 20 names that you're willing to send an SMS to today. Quickly write down 20 names. And you guys that are on the live streaming, I want you also to please make sure you write down 20 names, make your list of who you want to send an SMS today to. If, thank you so much for sorting out the mic. And everybody, while you're writing this, please give them an amazing hand of applause for sorting it out. If you're a star, thank you. It's hard to write down 20 names, isn't it?
Yeah.
Hey? How many times have we asked you to write down names? And yet I'm asking you to do it again, and yet it's a difficult thing to do, isn't it? The reason why I'm successful is because, and I'm going to boast about this, is because every single night before I go to bed, I write down a list of 10 names that when I get up in the morning, those names, there's no confusion of whether I am or whether I'm not going to actually do it. The names are there. I've done it before I go to sleep. When I was in Langkawi, I started at Z and started going right through every single person on my phone, starting with Z. Because we always start with A, and we never get to Z. So this time I started with Z and I started going up. So all my Zamas and my Zamazamas and my Zinclays and my Zaniles all got SMSs while I was in Langkawi. Guess what? They all been watching the link this week. Because I just made a simple list. If it's in your head, you will not do it. If it's in your head, you will not do it. If it's written down in front of you, it will drive you to do it. And that's the importance of making a list of 20 names. Yes. Pardon? That's not going to count because that's cold market. Okay, nice one. So your 50 connects that you're doing on Facebook or LinkedIn, those are good because that's starting your funnel. These are the people that are already down your funnel that actually know you. So if you sent an SMS and said, hey, hi Paul, how are you doing? I don't have to put there, love, Doc, Michelle. He'll send back and say, hey, Mish, good to hear from you, I'm doing well. 20 of those people. You must know 20. Because each one of us in this room actually should be able to write 25. Because every single one of us are connected to 25 people. Every single one of us. And I see some of you are trying to wrap your brain. Done it. You got 50. Awesome. Love it. Great. Okay, now we're not going to do anything with those now. So if you haven't finished 20, I want you to finish 20. Okay, and I'll show you what you do with yourself. Thanks. So now we're going to lead with launch language. So as we're doing this, we're going to be, the launch language is a way more appealing, and every single monthly presentation can be leveraged as a launch instead of a training. So we can call this a launch to your business. So imagine if you this morning had 20 prospects in the presentation, that could have been the beginning of your launch, a bigger launch meeting. Okay, so that's today's business presentation was the launch for the month of September. September's presentation will be the launch for the month of October. October's presentation will be the launch for the month of November. And you can say, I'm going to bring in the class of spring, September 2018, and I'm only looking for 20 people to be in that class. You can call it the, I mean, we have super rugby, we have super this, super that. You can call it the super class of 2018. Name it something. Give value to it. So learn to be direct and confident. Direct and confident. And Michelle learned direct and confident just this last week when she really had to close 3 people. And it was simple. The moment she had the confidence, she was able to be direct. Now, it makes the other person feel safe because they feel you know what's going on. So it's not like, you know, really, you know, I need to achieve a goal and, you know, I'm trying to get 20 people into the, you know, could you please do that? No, it's not that. Okay. So you've got to know your language. Your language has to be confident. And you're launching your fancy. Okay, so here's the beginning of a SMS. Yes. Okay, let's go back one, please. Okay, so yeah, so learn to be direct, know what you want, know where you're going, and they feel safe because you know where you're going. You don't want to follow a wishy-washy fancy. Okay, so here's one. Hi, Steve. Do you keep options open to potential business opportunities and projects? Okay, I didn't go straight into that. Mine were, hey, Tessa, hi, how are you? That was it. And Tessa SMS'd me back and said, hey, I'm fine. What are you doing? I said, hey, I'm sitting on the beaches of Lake Kari. Can't chat to you now. I'll chat to you next week. Love to grab a coffee with you. Wow, you're where? Okay. So you can, and that was perfect opportunity for me to send WhatsApps. Okay, send 20 a day. My team sent 20 a day while we were at Langkawi. So I was in Langkawi for 10 days, 20 SMSs a day. How many SMSs did I send out in total? 200. Came back, I've got 40 conversations going. Sent out 10 links just yesterday. And said to them, hey, I'm going to catch up. When I got back home, I said, listen, just got back home, can't chat to you. I said, I'll chat to you when I'm back, but I'm going to just sort out all my life. I'll chat to you as soon as I can. But hey, you're still open for that coffee? Yeah, sure, love to know what you're doing. See, we're trying to complicate the system when it shouldn't be complicated. It should be normal conversations you have with people. Because that's what people resonate with, isn't it? Okay, or you can go straight for this one, and then you could say, so you said, do you keep your options open? Let's say you said yes. You say, so Steve, to be quite direct, I'm busy launching a part-time business, and I'm looking for some part-time partners. I've got a major launch event happening planned for October. You can put in whatever month you want, and I'm putting some small launch teams together in some major cities, building towards that launch. Now, I think people are thinking, gee, that's not too threatening. Okay, you're launching something. When something gets launched, people want to be in on it, don't they? Okay, next one, thanks, Steve. Steve, you've always struck me as an influential and
growth.
Right, growth. Steve, you've always struck me as an influential and integrity lead professional. So if the product strategy and company makes sense, would you be open to being part of this launch team? That's a really, really dynamic conversation, isn't it? Okay. So somewhere along the line, you can break into one of those 3. You can break into all of them. You can break into whichever one you want. But start the conversation. One of the reasons most of us don't do this is because we're too scared to pick up the phone, isn't that so? Nowadays, everybody works off WhatsApps and messages, don't they? So send the message. People will answer you back. Some of them are going to say, well, who the hell are you? Oh, sorry, I thought you would remember me. This is where we met. This is what we did, and my name's Michelle. Oh, yes, of course I remember. Okay, so just start conversations, easy ones. Okay, thanks, Eve. Right, now you've started the conversation. Now what you want to do is they're interested, okay? And you've probably sent them the link, which you should have sent them the link, they've watched the link. The next step after watching the link is to make sure that you connect with a three-way call or a three-way group. Now, depends on who you're dealing with as to which of these will work for the person that you're in, but there's two ways you can do this. So the first one is, the pressure's got to be on the person who's closing. The reason why you and I are battling to close people is because we're trying to be the expert. And if I come to you with this whole expert knowledge, you're going to be sitting there thinking, you know what, I can't do this, or I'm not interested in doing this. So put the pressure onto your closer, okay? Now you must arrange with your closer, okay, that you're going to be using them as a closer, so don't just assume. So the closers to lead and close, which frees up the new person to keep driving the numbers. So you've got to work together as a team here. Thank you. It allows for scalability and duplication into your second and third multiple tiers of your business. Okay, so I saw two of my team members today were standing outside. One brought his prospect into the room, and immediately I was too busy to go and have a look, but because we're working as a team, immediately George jumped in. George did his magic. George was the closer. Okay, George was the closer, not the person who brought the prospect. See, that's the tiny little key that we're missing out on this sometimes. So it creates social proof and makes the business bigger than just you. Okay, so it's so important to have a closer. Right, here's the steps. Invite to have a look at your business, send the links, connect to your closer. Okay, so here's another WhatsApp that you can use. So I'm sure you've got some questions, and I'm keen to get them all answered so that we can move forward on this project. If I could connect you with one of the most knowledgeable crypto mining professionals in my team, would that be a helpful start? That's a nice way to cross over to your closer. A lovely way to cross over to your closer. The closer's role is to get the person committed to either, go for it, yeah, either signing them up, whoops, go back, either signing them up, getting them to a presentation, answering more of their questions, or getting them to a monthly event. That's what your closer's doing. Otherwise, you become the nagger. Isn't that so? How many of you, don't put your hands up, feel like you're nagging your prospects? Okay, put your hands on. How many of you feel like you're nagging your prospects? Absolutely. But if your closer does it, your closer knows how to do it. Your closer knows how to keep the conversations going. Your closer knows how to get the person, based on what they're saying, to whatever's next convenient for them. And sometimes, and if you could learn this, please don't rush for the close the first time you meet. Some people need 4 to 6 exposures in different forms before. Now, the only reason why I could have closed my 20 in 7 days is because I'd already said to my group of people that I had been taking on a journey for 3 months. For 3 months. Some of you in this room will know that the whole month of February, the whole month of March, I sat next to my mom's deathbed. And she passed away on the 26th of March. I couldn't make phone calls when I was there because she wanted my attention. But all I could do was build relationships on Facebook and LinkedIn and share exposures of my business with people. So I had a nice funnel that was waiting to be closed. I wasn't the closer. Okay, so when I made my decision, I phoned a couple of people here in Joburg, a couple of my team members, and I said, George, can you please contact so-and-so? So George contacted Ravi. Ravi's in the business. I got hold of Mafrit and said, Mafrit, will you please look after Petunia? And then I got her and I said, I'll keep Petunia below you. I'll keep Ravi below you. They closed. They closed. So the big kahuna is actually not my t-shirt. It's my team's. It's my team's. And that's the beauty of having the team work together. That is why when Ravi had a prospect today, the team didn't need to rely on me. Because whatever work George does with Ravi, they both benefit and it's going to come up the tree. It's not all about you. And it's not all about your prospect. It's about what you can do for other people that's best for them. And then, of course, I called him my big kahuna, and that was Doc Ant. And I said, you're going to go close this one, and this one for me. So he was my closer on a couple of them. Okay. And then I could make 1 or 2 calls. Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. So even your home meetings, that you have, you shouldn't be having a home meeting by yourself. Okay, if you only are by yourself, then for those of you guys that are listening on the streaming, then you need to play Andrew's inoculation video, and that's a closing video. Okay. Otherwise, you invite 2 or 3 of your team members that will benefit, and they go close, and you just host. You host, you don't close. You host the meeting, because that's what you took phone and said, hey, listen, I'm having a launch meeting at home, and I'd love to have you and share with you what I am doing. So while you've done that, you host the meeting, you make sure they got coffee, cookies, or whatever it is that you're going to give, not cheese and wine, please, coffee. Otherwise, they will tell you they were under the influence when you made them sign up, okay? And you don't want that. So that's very important. Okay, so now we're going to look at events. Events create excitement, but what more than that? Environment is greater than will. Environment is greater than will. That is why you bring people into the room where there are other fired up people. Okay. So an event, so even if you had a prospect in this room now that hadn't signed up, and they're looking at this, there's something that someone from the recognitions all the way through that's going to resonate with them. Even the question of why you're in this room might have just made them think. And because the environment is greater than the will, they will close and you will close them. And that's why you get people to your launch events. So every month, remember monthly now, you have this event that can be created as a soft launch, if you wanted to call it, or a full launch, where you can gather your teams as part of the launch strategy to work towards, which is exactly what Adrian was saying. A team comes together and they help each other work it out. So every monthly event gives you a tool to launch a team. Okay? Every weekly event gives you momentum into your launch team. And then let's reverse engineer this. Reverse engineer everything. So we know that advertised already where we're going to have Chris Burtesh and Randy Prince in October for the Africa Alive. If you're not at that event, and even if a person is not a Lifestyle Galaxy Value Club member already, they're going to come listen to Chris Burtesh. Do you think they're not? Nashua had them just the other day, didn't they, Juanita? Absolutely. So Nashua had Chris Burtesh come and speak to their group of people to motivate, inspire, and do whatever topic he was talking on there. He's going to come and speak to us about how he set a goal to paddle across the Atlantic, his purpose, why he was doing it. So he's going to tap into the why. Now that is for everybody. It's not just for Lifestyle Galaxy members. And you've heard that one ticket is 600 Rand after today. At today, if you buy one ticket, it's 500 Rand. If you buy 3 tickets, is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. 3 tickets is 1,200 Rand. And if you buy 10 tickets, it's 3,000 Rand. So You could be selling tickets at 500 Rand, but you bought them at 300 if you wanted to. Because that's the price of the tickets. Or you can sell them at 400 Rand. Or if you wanted to, you can sell them at 300 and make no profit. But there's no reason why your friends that are work colleagues, because when they come into the room, they're going to hear Chris Burtish and they're going to hear Ray, because they're in the same room. But invite them to come to Chris Burtish. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying 20 tickets and I'm putting people in the room. So back again, Ed. So reverse engineer. So I say October, that's how many people I want, 20 people. I'm buying 20 tickets. So I say, there's the goal. Now what do I have to do to get 20 in the room? Okay. You've also got the mine visit in December. November's the mine visit, December's GoPro. So you can actually go and say, why don't you come with me to come and actually physically see the mining equipment? That was my turning point. I never told a soul about this business until I physically went into a mine. And I physically saw that it was real. It validated it. I never went to go to GoPro, and I never went to the company event to meet David Martin. I wanted to tap into Randy. Because Dave Martin is just the visionary officer. Like, he's just the vision of this company. The guy who's the meat behind our company is Randy Force. He's the brains. We would not have mining if it was not for Randy. We would only have gaming. Okay. So please remember that. Then there will be more on this whole how you're going to get there and how you're going to do all of that later on this afternoon when you look at your 90-day game plan. Okay. Tell the person next to you now, how strategic has these last 2 points actually been? Have they been strategic or haven't they been strategic? Tell your person next to you. They're going good with the crowd. Okay, so just these few points have been strategic, haven't they? Yeah. So why do you actually wake up on Monday and very few of you are taking your business strategically and waiting for it to just happen? It's not going to just happen. It's not going to just happen. Okay, thanks, Eve. So now you're going to get, here's a few sacred things that you should not leave out of any get start with the person that you're starting with. Okay? So this is what's sacred to us. This is what's sacred to the Team GI Hugeness team. All right, these are the things that we value. These are our bare essentials that we're going to look at. Thanks, Eve. So, carry on. First thing, everybody that wants to build this business should sign up onto My Lifestyle Galaxy. That's your tool. That's your marketing tool. That is your training tool. Okay? Then, how many of you have actually watched the inoculation video in the back office of My Lifestyle Galaxy? Okay. The rest haven't. You've got to watch that inoculation video. Here's the reason why. Is because how many of you in this room absolutely love rejection? None of us. Hey? Most of us have an issue with regards to rejection, don't we? Now, if somebody says to you, no, we interpret that as a rejection. So the inoculation video helps you to understand that there's reasons why you're going to stay in this business. Reasons why you're going to accept the no's. And understand that just maybe that person is just not the right time for them. I was listening and I did the course with Eric Rory. The fortune is in the follow-up. And We're going to be doing that on the 8th, aren't we, Yokes?
Yes.
November 8th. Okay. So on the 8th of what month? September. On the 8th of September, we're going to be here, held here. I'm going to run the fortunes in the follow-up. Okay? It's 100 Rand per person. So we'll send out the invitation and Yogi will look after all the registrations. Okay? And whoever comes, we're going to play the whole of Eric Rory's Fortunes in the Follow-Up. There's one gentleman and how you follow up people using the right language. Okay? Now, one guy followed up with a person for 12 years. How many of you just say next? We do. Oh, next. Okay. Fortunes in the follow-up and how you follow up. So, you've got to get the why clear. Clear. The why. The inoculation of the why. Why are you in this room? Okay. Now, you must create a long list. This is where we all are petrified. Because we're petrified to tell someone to make lists of names, aren't we? No, it's okay. You don't have to make a big list. Just 20. Just 20 is basically maybe going to get, if they're lucky, one person signed up. Then what do? You see, the fear happens when the list runs out. What happens when the list you don't want to get. You don't want to get. So you stop. But if the list was 200, okay, if the list was 200, you would go all the way through and maybe think, oh, my list is going to run out about 60, 70, 120. You still got people because you got a long list. Okay? So the goal is to get 60 links in 21 days. If you can get your first person to get 60 links out in 21 days, they will stay in this business. They will stay in this business. And they will come to this room. So this means sitting with a person and helping them to start conversations. Okay? Now, remember the statement and write it down there. All business is conversations. All business is conversations. Now, you know whatever, something went wrong there. You know yourself. If you, whatever company you're with, whatever organization you're with, when somebody in a group of people starts speaking about your opposition company, what do you naturally do about your own company? You defend it. Why? Because business is a conversation. And you've got to tell people. So if you were in a group and you had to work for BMW, and somebody started there saying, no, Mercedes-Benz is like the best, you know, so one of your parts up and say, no, the BMW beats the Benz. If you remember that was taken off many years ago. Eh? But you would defend automatically. Cool. Right, so and then you've got to get them the ticket to the next event. The ticket to the next event. You guys know all this stuff. Okay, next. And then, how many of you in this room do not have a GoPro book? How many of you do not have a GoPro book? Okay, GoPro books are for sale at the back. If you want to have a successful business, you need to get the GoPro book. Because the GoPro book is all about how you can go professional in this business, in this profession of network marketing. It's got scripts in there, how to talk to warm markets, cold markets, and a whole lot of things. Very, very, very valuable book. Okay, so John's holding it up at the back there, but this is a book here. Is this your book, George? Okay. How many of you have seen those pastors that have got very, very used Bibles? You know, they really used up Bibles. And then, well, please come and have a look at George's book. It looks like one of those because he uses it. Okay. It's really used up. Okay, next. Thanks, F. So, 30-day game plan. Remember these things over the next 30 days. If you can do this over the next 30 days, you will sign 20 and 30. You will. From day 1, from day 0 to 10, day 10, start as many conversations as possible. 10 days. Commit to 10 days of just sending out those 200 SMSs in 10 days. Just send it out, send it out, send it out, send it out. When it comes back to you, then focus on the next 10 days. So when company says to me, hey, you're around, fine, all the rest of it, so get the conversation going until you can get a link out. Okay? Then the next, that's all you're going to do for 10 days, is conversations to get your link out. That is it. As many as you can. As many as you can. You should get at least 60 of them. Okay, my ratio was 40, which is still fine. Then the next 10 days is how do you get a follow-up with them. So it's either getting them into a business presentation, a one-on-one meeting, a call with your three-way caller, something. Okay, for those next, from day 10 to day 20, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up, follow up. Do not close unless somebody says, hey, where do I sign up? So yesterday I had, one of my prospects that I've had, and I've been going with this prospect for something like, since I started in Amway, since 2010. Okay, how many years is that? 8 years. I've built a relationship with this gentleman on Facebook for 8 years. Okay, 8 years. Come back from Malaysia, Monday morning, Ant's phone is ringing. Ant doesn't answer it. My phone is ringing. I don't answer it. I'm like, why is this dude phoning me? So I pick up the phone. Hi, like immediately, hi, is something wrong? Is everything okay? I've got to meet you about this Bitcoin stuff. When can we meet? Okay? I met him on Friday. I closed him on Friday. Immediately he said to me, you know what he said to me? He said to me, but I know you do that networking stuff as well. I want to do both. And all I've done is just been friendly and posted pictures and tagged him for 8 years. And tagged him for 8 years. Hey, check my... because I know he's a dynamic person. I know he's got a big list. Okay, so for 8 years, I've just been tagging pictures of eating pina coladas on the beach or wherever it is. I'm in Amsterdam, or I'm in Las Vegas, or I'm in London, or I'm in Australia. Just tagging. Okay, 8 years. Then, day 20 to 30, close. Now you're going to close. You're going to close. You're committed to getting them to a monthly event. You close and get there. Okay? So the only reason why I couldn't get him into this event today was because I met him yesterday and he already had something on today. So I said, no problem, but he's already committed to September. And he's already committed to October. And I guarantee you, he'll be at Las Vegas because he wants to build a business. Okay. Right, so the reward for promoting 20 and 30 is, firstly, if you do your 20 and 30, what's going to happen is, let's have a look at what has the company done from us with the promotion from the 24th of August to the 10th of September. The company is running a promotion for us, aren't they?
Yep.
So you're going to get rewards out of that from a company perspective. Okay. Then on the 28th of October, you will end up having that intimate training session with, on the 28th. After the 27th, you will automatically come into that room with those super recruiters. Because right now it's only for super recruiters and for people who buy 10 tickets today. And if you do your 20 and 30, you can be in that room. All right. Then, so there's those super recruiters in the 10 packs. Okay, so you can get yourself into that room. And it's going to be a small room, probably 50 people listening to Randy, and Randy's going to go into immense detail of where the company is going from here. Okay, thanks. So, go back. So just from the picture, no problem. Cool. That's it. So, I'm going to suggest you've been given some tools right now on how you can do the next 30 days, if you want to. It's entirely up to you. At the next session, we're going to go into a lot of detail on how you can literally get yourself to GoPro almost for free and to Las Vegas for free and the 90-day game plan. So I'm looking forward to that. So thank you very much. Did I make it short?
Thank you, Dr. Michelle. Wonderful. giving us a way forward. Okay, what we're going to do now is we're going to get you guys just to see some of you are going in your chairs, falling asleep. Okay, so everyone get up. Please. Okay, so stretch your. Okay, so what we're going to do is something that was taught to us in actually in Langkawi. Dr. Anthony van Tonder actually showed us this. It's the way of our lifestyle in Lifestyle Galaxy. Okay, so what we're going to do is Lifestyle Galaxy works this way. Okay, so we all go lifestyle, lifestyle galaxy. Okay, so we're all going to try it again just once. So let's go lifestyle galaxy. Okay, now let's do it a little bit faster. Lifestyle galaxy. Yeah, give yourself that. Well done. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to have a bit of a Q&A session for everyone that wants to ask some questions. Look, it's totally an open agenda. You guys can sit down again. No, you can switch it off. Yeah, thanks, Sean. Okay, so it's completely open agenda. So it's absolutely anything from the mining to the building your business. Any questions you guys might have. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to call a couple of people to the panel. Just leave my list. Good. Okay, you and Nita, can you join us on the panel, please? Dr. Anthony van Tonder, we're going to turn him into Dr. Michelle van Tonder. Brendan Earth Jones and Paul Cromadan, please. Okay, everyone thinking of questions? We don't have another one. Okay, that's fine. I'll run up and down. That's fine. Okay, are you guys ready to start? Great. Okay, first one question is over here.
Hi, my name is Ines. I'm very good at cold prospecting. I get the people to get the link the first day. But how do I get them to look at it? Because that's where my problem is.
You want to answer this one? Okay.
Sorry, that was a bad pass. Anyone else want to answer this? Are you good? Okay. So, yeah, exactly. All right. So the most important thing with the link is, so if I was sending Brendan a link, I'd say, so Brendan, if I were to send you a link with regards to what our company is about, would you watch it?
Yeah, and basically after saying that, when he comes back or he or she comes back and says only this evening or I'm busy at work now or only this weekend, you don't even send them the link. If it's this weekend, for example, you wait back and you come back to Friday, Saturday, and you say, "Hi, John, you said this weekend. Can I send you the link now and then speak to you and touch base in an hour?" Yes, I can watch it right now. Are you sure? Yes. And he responds back again. You've got to get two or three. Everybody teaches us to say 2 or 3 confirmations of time they're going to watch that link. The reason why I gave the mic to Michelle earlier, Dr. Michelle earlier, was she actually goes one step further with certain people. She actually gets them on the phone and says, "Are you watching it now? Are they watching it? Okay, you got it. The link working on the screen? Yes, I've got it, Doc. I've got it. I can press play." And she ends the call. She goes as far as that.
Awesome. Okay, anyone else got a question? Yeah.
Hi. I wanted to know, do any of you use a closed Facebook group? In other words, to people that you're prospecting, like you tag, quite a lot. do you need to make sure that you want to tag a few people? I love that idea of tagging, but you also don't want to fill up the spam. So have you tried that?
Okay, so I've got a couple of strategies on Facebook, and I've got a group, and then I also have a page. And what I specifically do with those groups is that I post information on cryptos, and I use that to educate people. So when people then like it or tag it or share it, is when I will then take the opportunity to then connect with that person, and I will then say, I see that you've liked my post. Are you involved with cryptos? And then I start a conversation with people. I do different things with the two pages, and so just because I probably have most people on my page is also in my group, so I try and not share the same information on both, so that they get value out of both. And then I also have a specific strategy that I follow on my own page. And what I do there is that I create value, not through sharing and talking about cryptocurrencies, because that's what I use my pages and my group for, is I create value through other things. So what I've started doing recently is I have a weekly Facebook Live where I talk about my journey and my development, not about cryptocurrencies, but my journey in growing cash flow for myself and building wealth. And so what that does, it then attracts people who are interested in doing the same thing, and I then start a conversation with them.
Thanks.
Good day, everyone. My name is Wael. I would like to ask if you can still generate money without having people under, or let's say it took me 6 months to get 20 people. Is it still possible to generate money, to make money?
Okay, generating of money does not only come from the people below you. However, that is the multiplication. You can generate money by the mining, only doing the mining. That's your strategy one. But if you want to multiply, then you have to get the people below you, either with them doing mining or them then also building a business. Does that answer the question? So I think if I can just go a little bit further, we're talking about two strategies. Strategy one, strategy two. Strategy one is doing the mining, only the mining. So you're minding your own business and you're just going on and mining. Okay? Strategy two, when we put it on the screen, we say you do mining and business. You don't have to do the mining to do strategy two. If you only want to put people in your business and get them to grow, then and you don't want to do the mining, you don't have to do the mining. Okay? So strategy one, only mining. Strategy two is doing mining or getting people in, but definitely getting people in and building the business, and then doing the mining to enhance it.
Hi. I just wanted to ask, sort of, it's almost an extension, but if somebody is on strategy one and they've got a friend who wants to join strategy two, would they be able to sign them up and get the $150, or would they have to go to their upline and get someone that's on strategy to sign them up? And is Eric Warrior a member of Lifestyle Galaxy?
Yeah, he would have to upgrade his membership to a Value Club membership. Yeah, or I'd have to go and upline. That's why we encourage people that are retail miners. But then obviously, if they wanted to engage, speaking about the business, they may as well upgrade their package to the Value Club membership at $600. Just you were talking about closing earlier. Have you read GoPro? The book.
I'm busy with
Exactly. Also, if you've read that whole book, you will not ask that question about how to get people to watch things. It's very critical, guys. I knew nothing about network marketing. Zip. Andrew Eaton told me, read this book. I read it in 3.5 hours in April. No, but I knew nothing. And I followed those principles in what people signed up in the first month. Yeah.
No, Eric Rory has independent because he's focusing on all network marketing companies, so he can't belong to anyone. Yeah, his integrity has to be that he can't join a network marketing company. If he has, Andrew's done it already. Okay?
Hi, my name is Mzee. I'm getting a little bit confused. You're mentioning two strategies, but we have three strategies, which is one to buy and hold, and then the second one is the network marketing, and then the third one is the mining. So now you're mentioning two. What's happening to the third one?
Okay, let's distinguish there between the ways where cryptocurrency can build you wealth and the strategy of Lifestyle Galaxy. Okay, so the way to build wealth with cryptocurrency is first buy and hold, then sell when it's high. Secondly, doing your trading. Okay, that's if you've got the stomach for it. And then thirdly, to do the mining. So that's the three ways whereby you can build wealth with cryptocurrencies. Okay, in Lifestyle Galaxy, if you want to build your own Lifestyle Galaxy, there are two strategies. Okay, and the one strategy then is just doing the mining. Okay, so you will see that's the third way to build wealth. And the other one is to do mining and build your network. And that's the multiplication factor in the way that you earn money. Because now suddenly you're not earning money just from yourself. You've got other people doing this with you and then helping you to grow your wealth. So, three ways to build wealth. Okay, buy and hold, trading, and mining. And inside Lifestyle Galaxy, two strategies: mining plus doing the business.
Anyone else?
I would like to know when the e-learning and e-sports will be available in the App Store for iPhones.
That you have to ask Apple. It's an Apple thing. Yeah, nothing to do with us.
Just last one, I promise I'm not going to Ms. Juanita, correct? You mentioned there's going to be 21 million bitcoins that were produced. Is that until 2140 or yeah? Now there's about 7 billion people in the world, and of those 7 billion people in the world, plus minus 50 million are business people who would be interested in this. How do we share all these basically 21 million coins amongst all these people?
Okay, so what happens is that one Bitcoin is divisible into 100,000 units. Okay, so it's like a rand. Get 100 cents in a rand, 100,000. So what happens is that you can buy a fraction of a Bitcoin, and so and as the value goes up, obviously your fraction will also increase in value. Okay.
So just to add there, so that is called Satoshis. And Satoshis basically will be a fraction of a Bitcoin. 100,000 Satoshis will be one Bitcoin. So in the future, when Bitcoin is worth, say, $200,000 a Bitcoin, if someone owns a Bitcoin, you won't be talking in that currency. You'll buy a Coke for maybe 50 Satoshis. That's what we will be talking in that sort of currency.
Rob? So, can everybody hear? Okay. So, I'm a little bit confused about the S3. Now, Brendan, you said that there will be an S3 miner. As I understand it, the S1 was the one that we traditionally held for mining Ethereum. S2, I think, is the one that we were offered in Lacan. And S3, is that something else? So that's the first part of the question. The second part is, in Langkawi, we were given the privilege of getting one of these mines.
will there be more flash sales coming up, and approximately what time scale do you know?
Okay, timescale, can't say. And even if I did know, I'm signed under NDA, so can't say anything. Okay. With regards to, you must remember that technology moves so very quickly. So the S1 became the S2, the S2 is now going to be, going to become the S3. Now the S3 is specifically designed for Lifestyle Galaxy, by Lifestyle Galaxy with their technology and all the rest of it. So it's going to be one that's when it does get launched, it'll be another flash sale with regards to that. So with regards to flash sales, cannot say when they will be, cannot say how they're going to be. Well, we can say how it will just be by by such and such a time. And all I'm going to say is that if you miss a flash sale, I don't want you guys to be negative about missing out on a flash sale, because there will be another one. And they have the flash sales to do with the size of the EcoPods. So they will build an EcoPod and they need to fill the EcoPod. So they're not going to go and build 10 EcoPods because it costs money and they're not prepared to go into debt. So they're going to do everything with cash. So that is the reason why they will build the EcoPod. Now they need to fill the EcoPod. So when it sells out the equipment, then they will build another EcoPod and they need to fill that EcoPod. Okay. And the EcoPod has various different types of hardware that it can be put inside it. Okay. The housing of the racks and the design and all the rest of it. So I would suggest if you really want to see an EcoPod, get to Vegas and come on a triple bus and come and see an EcoPod. It's absolutely phenomenal. And each time they build an EcoPod, it's just they're getting more and more wiser with all the cost savings and that kind of thing. It's quite dynamic actually. So yeah, so Rob half answered, half unanswered.
Hi everyone. So I've known about Bitcoin for a while now. However, if you were to start a conversation with someone who doesn't even know what cryptocurrency is or what a Bitcoin is, in the simplest word, not in what you read, what would you say to them? What is cryptocurrency and what is Bitcoin?
So simplest word is to say that it's a digital currency. So effectively, if we, I don't know if you were here at my presentation earlier this morning. So if you remember when I spoke about the evolution of money, we've already evolved into a digital age of transferring money through noughts and ones. All that happens now is that you have the addition that you don't need a third party. So you and I can trade with one another and no longer need a third party. Does that help you?
Hi everyone, my name is Lawrence. I just want to know between these two strategies, strategy 1 and 2, which one is highly recommended or which one is the best?
Okay, highly recommended is strategy 2. And the reason why is that you are now not doing all the work yourself. If you are only doing strategy 1, that you and you alone that are trying to create wealth for yourself. Okay, so you've got to mine, you've got to just get the mining, everything doing by yourself. If you do strategy 2, you get 10 or 20 or 30 other people below you that are also doing the mining, or they are also building the business. So that 10, 20, 30 people below you are also putting each 10 or 5 people in the business, which are also doing the mining. So now suddenly you are getting CD through the mining they are doing, the compounding on the mining they are doing, and suddenly you multiply that amount of CD and revenue that you are generating in your own node. Okay, so highly recommended strategy 2, no doubt about it.
Good afternoon, my name is Steve. Just an answer to a former gentleman's question with regards to the concern of splitting 21 billion bitcoins over a population of 6 billion people. My understanding was that the actual bitcoin runs to 8 decimal places, so that in turn would equate to 100 million
Sorry, 100 billion.
I just want to find out, our mines are, or Galaxy mining allows us to mine Bitcoin and altcoins or alt currencies. Will we at some stage get to a point where a big supplier or a big company can create their own Bitcoin and prevent us from mining it? Because there's a lot of currencies coming out. So we only
Now there's 1,888 different cryptocurrencies.
So we only concentrate on the top 4, not right?
So the researchers, so we will only release a coin onto our platform once they've done the research that coin is going to go forward and so that is why we won't rush into any of the coins, and it also depends on the stability of the blockchain that these coins get rewarded from. So based on that, that's how the company will make its decisions on which coin it's going to, because which are the more stable, secure blockchains.
Okay, good. I know that you get the Denti coin as well. So would we be able to then verify their transactions or
Any coin that suddenly becomes very popular, valuable, or what Dave Martin wants is, does the coin have practical use? Okay, so if there's a valuable coin that suddenly comes into the scene, the company and executives will investigate that coin, and if it is valuable, we'll be able to mine that, set up an EcoPod, a warehouse, and be able to bring the right equipment and offer it as a coin ongoing. That's the whole point of Lifestyle Galaxy. We forever be able to. That's a very exciting coin. That's a dark coin. That's a private coin that may be popular in the next couple of years. With Bitcoin's more public, the public transactions, and Nero is private. So if there's a new coin that comes on the scene, we could assure you the executives will be analyzing it and checking it to add it to our platform.
Are there just two questions on the Galaxia? When is the Galaxia actually going to be launched on CoinMarketCap? That's the first question.
My suggestion, I would love that answer, so please come to the October event and ask Randy.
Brilliant. In terms of the, and then in terms of the Galaxia mining equipment, we were privileged enough to be able to buy that equipment in Mankawi. So when will we be actually? When will we actually start to mine the first Galaxia? Is that after the 45-day countdown period?
Yeah, when the mine goes live.
And then when will these people that have got existing multi-currency mining equipment be able to mine that Galaxia as well? Will they be able to or not?
Could I suggest you come in October and ask Randy?
So I'm just,
yeah, no, they're excellent questions, and we, like from David, we were asked not to say and talk anything more about Galaxia because we're still now waiting for it to go live. After it's gone live, more information will start coming out, and that is one of the main reasons why Randy's actually coming in October, is to actually give us more details about it in October.
And then obviously we won't know the launch price of Galaxia as well.
That we should know
in October.
So I'd like to suggest you come in October.
Next.
Okay, hi, it's Laura. If you look at the mining pie chart, okay, 13.6% is the slush pool. So what is the membership base of Lifestyle?
Because we're all under NDA, none of us, and we only actually have permission to see from your business number down the numbers. Only a person who's like Andrew Eaton and those would know those figures. We cannot say them publicly, but what we can say to you is in 33 countries, and we're opening Russia soon, and we are expanding, and we are a global company. So your concern, my concern about the numbers is from your business number down, and that's where you create your growth.
Here we go.
Okay. Hello guys. I'm Alice. My name is Alice. I would like to know at least how much one can invest, especially when it comes to the mining.
How much someone needs to start with.
Can I just, people, when you ask the question, please don't hold the mic. People in the area, that's what's causing the noise. Hold it down here and hold the mic close to your mouth. Okay.
Okay, so you've got two options. All right, you can start as a retail miner. You then don't pay the $600 Lifestyle Galaxy Value Club membership. You can start that way, and it starts from $25 right up to $500. But you're paying retail prices, so that you are getting less gigahash out of those mines. Right? The best option for you to then, depending on what strategy you want to follow, if you would like to follow strategy 2 and build a business, then you join Lifestyle Galaxy Value Club for $600, and that's about 8,700 Rand, depending on where the Rand is sitting against the dollar. And you can then start earning commissions, then buy your mine. Okay, so if that is what you're wanting to do, that's a good place to start, is to start with about 9,000 Rand to join the membership, and then earn commissions, and then buy your mine. Okay.
Sorry, sorry, I just wanted to answer my own question by just clarifying the answer first. A lot of people have asked me, and a lot of industry experts, you know, when I've approached them about Galaxy mining, they've always asked me, what is our total hash power? And my answer would be that it's non-disclosable. We can't disclose that kind of information.
Yeah. Yep, there we go.
Hi, my name is Sean. I've got two questions. The first one is, obviously we're not the only players in the Bitcoin market and particularly in South Africa right now. What kind of conversation would you suggest we have with a prospect who bought a mine, or sorry, bought a Bitcoin, and is obviously highly unhappy right now because of what's happened to the price of the Bitcoin from when he bought it to now? And I'm presenting this new opportunity to them. What kind of conversation would you suggest we have? Because obviously they on a different strategy. That's question one. Question two is, obviously 27 October is a big day for us. Are we developing any marketing collateral, Facebook banners or WhatsApp posters we can use to build up and obviously invite our prospects towards that event? And if so, by when can we have some of that collateral? Thanks.
Sean, just to answer your last question first, and I'll go to your first one. Obviously, we've got the tickets here, and obviously we could probably advertise around Chris. Richard sent his little YouTube video to say he's going to be doing a talk. Do your own marketing, and you obviously, I'm obviously in your team as well. So in terms of that, well, we'll help assist in terms of getting people there, but we want to fill the room definitely. Around obviously a key public speaker like Chris. And then obviously Randy will also there. So I think it's easy in terms of social media these days to be able to market that user video and then get people to come to the event like that. In regards to your first question, I think in terms of Lifestyle Galaxy in South Africa, we're a crowd mine. So people that you speak to that have maybe not got into mining or that have just bought and hold, you could basically use that as a learning tool. You're saying, well, you got involved, you bought Bitcoin in November, December last year, it's come down in value. You, in essence, were trading. You bought at a value. You hoped it went up. It went down. We all believe it will go up again. So you mustn't sell. I would suggest you hold on that. But in the future, get involved with Lifestyle Galaxy and make the digital commodity out of thin air. In essence, it's automated. It's software. It's outsourced in America. You can make that coin and other altcoins. There's newer versions of Bitcoin out that we could mine, like Monero, which prices right down. That's very low. So it's in essence getting involved with Bitcoin at the earlier stage. It's like mining Bitcoin 6 or 7 years ago. You could do now some of the coins in Galaxy Mine, and then there's no risk. That's a sustainable long-term strategy. There's the mining there. And if you meet people that are with miners, then they're probably doing cloud mining. And there's lots of cloud mines out there. And you can tell quite comfortably the difference between a crowd mine and a cloud mine. And I can tell you now with Lifestyle Galaxy and Galaxy Mining, we're fully transparent. You heard from Juanita and Dr. Michelle. We can hop on a plane and go see the mine in person. We know the executives of the company. We've got our own compliance website. We actually, I think, we're the only mine that has a compliance website in the world, and a registered company in South Africa and in 34 countries. Other cloud mines, you're lucky you can get a video feed. Definitely can't visit the mine, don't know where it is. We're fully transparent. So that's what you could tell me in terms of speaking to prospects about getting involved with Galaxy Mining.
Sean, I just want to add one thing. I think what's important is when you have a conversation with someone, is if you ask them why they got involved with Bitcoin, why did they buy that one Bitcoin? And so obviously did it because they wanted to make money on it. So if you bought it at $450, then you made huge amounts of money, even if it's only at 6 today. But if you bought it in December at 19, you're out of pocket. What mining gives you, and that's a really important thing, is that you are buying an asset that is generating money for you over a period of time. Whereas if you buy one Bitcoin, it doesn't do that. All it does is just increases in value, and you get unhappy and uncomfortable when it goes backwards. Whereas when you're mining, you're continually mining that, and you're increasing your wealth. And so my specific strategy is to move from an employee to a business owner, to building cash flow by being a business owner in order to generate wealth. So ask the question, what is your objective? If he thought he was going to buy his Porsche tomorrow, then he did it for the wrong reason. Okay, so that's important to understand.
Hello guys. Hello. I want to ask, don't you guys feel like we're like the sharks and you guys? Okay, so I've got a suggestion. Sing loud enough. You guys hear me?
Yeah.
So my suggestion is, I know this personally because I've screwed up a few times with network marketing. So here's what I do know. The suggestion, you guys will confirm if it works or not. I'm a right brainer. So the last thing I'm ever going to do is get into business with a right brainer. And I say that for a reason. Right brainers have got a lot of energy, but they're not very analytical. As you guys know, they think of ideas. So what I see in this business is you've got to partner with a left brainer, someone who's analytical, who understands stuff better. So for example, I will build these relationships. I'll talk garbage on Facebook. When I say garbage, anything to get people to listen to. Would you guys agree with that? Partner with someone who's completely opposite to you.
I think you're going to work with both sides. You've got to have both in your business. You can't only go with one side. It'll turn your business the wrong way, and then you're going to have a lot of analytical people that do nothing, because analytical people generally do very little. So you're going to need to have the high energy people to drive your business as well. So one of the things that, in Galaxy Growth, when that gets launched, we have 30 hours of training with regards to how you work with each of the different personality profiles and how to get the best out of it. So it's vitally important. So I'm a high energy person. So if I'm approaching a high energy person, I need to lower my energy in order to break through. Because if I lift my energy up, the two of us are just going to have high energy, we're going to get nowhere. So you need to know how to interact with various different people. And even when you're on the telephone, and we've done a couple of courses with regards to this, and with a lot of us in the room here haven't done it now. So we're looking at perhaps doing another live one. And it is very important that you understand that how to even pick up that tone of voice over the telephone, to understand immediately whether they are in the sort of the introvert side or the extrovert side, and how do you adjust very quickly. And also by the types of the way they type and what they would say. So if I'm reading Brendan's comments on his Facebook page, I know that he is the extrovert. So I know how to pitch to him and how to speak to him. That's vital to know. So what you're saying is absolutely imperative. However, we need to adapt to learn to speak to both introvert, extrovert, big brain, right brain, A-type personality, B-type personalities, that kind of thing. So it is a skill and an art to speak with marketers. It's imperative for us to actually master that skill. So brilliant question. Thank you.
Two more questions. Can you reverse transactions?
Can you?
So like, for example, I give my future wife some money on some crypto, and then she some Canada shit.
Yeah,
I'm a good guy.
You can't do it from your side. It's very difficult to do, but it is possible if you're dealing with wallets and an exchange between them. But you wouldn't be able to just do it yourself in terms of just pressing reverse.
Last question, because there's a lot of war, there's tsunamis and things like that. These vaults, or where the crypto is stored, the mining. If that thing crashes, let's just say, I don't know, destruction or earthquake or something, how do people know that they're secure? Is there like insurance on that, or does it get stored somewhere else? If that mine collapses or a bomb hits it or something.
Okay, yeah, I mean, in terms of the risk there, I mean, the warehouses are spread on a huge piece of land. It's undisclosed, but it's not sort of this room and the room next door, in a building. These warehouses, think of it as a huge scale farm with warehouses, and then obviously 100 meters away another warehouse, another way. So the risk is basically if a nuclear bomb sort of like lands in Seattle in America. But I think if that sort of thing happens, we've got bigger things to worry about.
It feels a little bit tense in there. Just want to ask a question also to make it a little bit loud. If Donald Trump says something silly, will the Bitcoin lose its value?
Yeah, well, I think in December, that's what actually happened. Probably one of the reasons why the Bitcoin price went up a bit when US was obviously almost threatening war with North Korea. A lot of the American population put their money into cryptos, so they could easily leave America and go overseas and then cash it into any local currency. So it is effective in a way in terms of buying and selling. Flying the bond, yeah.
Anyone else?
Sorry, I think just like our politicians, yes, it has. And I think it depends on what they say. But generally, what happens is if they talk about market conditions, if things are going to impact the American market, what happens is that cryptocurrencies become a safe haven, and that's great for us. So it's not necessarily a negative if they say things about it. And I don't know if you've noticed in the presentation. At one stage, we wanted to be how many billion euro company? 1 million euro, 1 billion euro company. We never ever said we want to be a $1 million company. Okay, so at some point we're going to change from dollars to euros.
NDA, I said that.
Good day. I just wanna maybe just give some advice, more especially with the links and stuff where your people that on the data, those kind of things. What will be the best thing to get them to watch, or because you send a lot, they want that it's your cashiers and those kind of people, like data becomes. What is the best advice you can give?
Honestly, in terms of that question, they've got to get either if they have work, they've got to get into a Wi-Fi zone. But normally, if you're prospecting someone that has got an issue with data, you're probably going to have an issue with them paying the $600, $8,500, so you're probably marking up the wrong tree there. Or they can just go retail mining, or meet them in person and show it to them and sample copy. But it probably, in terms of them saying, I'm going to get the $600 together, you may struggle there, to be honest.
Hello. Just want to ask with regard to insurance. We know all businesses, warehouses, etc. have insurance. So if you don't know the answer, it's fine at this point in time. I can always wait till October to ask again.
Yes, all our equipment is insured, and they won't tell us we're under NDA with regards to the insurance company because it belongs to Mega Mines and Lifestyle Galaxy has their own. So they're not going to disclose which company because people have a tendency to phone companies and things like that. So all our equipment is insured, 100% insured. And the beautiful thing about crowd mining and the way that, and as Brendan was saying, the way our executive team has put our units together is if my equipment happens to be in one unit where the electricity grid goes down, because we're crowd mining, I still get my payout on the day. Just because my equipment is sitting in that unit and the electricity grid goes out and let's say for 5 hours, those units are not actually mining or on. Okay. I mean, yes, we do have generators, but just let's say hypothetically, I don't get penalized because we crowd mining. We all still get paid out based on the gigahash that we've got or the mega hash we've got, which is awesome.
Hi, my name is Dilip Shiva. Just going back onto the safety of the equipment and the distribution. Typically what you have is when you have computer equipment, you have a 50-kilometer distance where you have a DR site. So you don't need a nuclear event. You could have flooding or you could have a fire for an environment where it's a couple of 100 meters apart and it can get destroyed. So that's the first thing that I want clarification. If there is a DR or if there isn't, is that in the pipeline? The second thing is, with regard to the insurance, as much as the hardware is insured and replaced, this is a digital currency. All of the assets are in the software and that. How is that being protected so that if there is an event where there's a fire or something and the equipment is replaced, how can us as members of Lifestyle Galaxy be assured that our information is protected and our assets are protected? Thank you.
So yeah, the hardware is, when we say hardware, we talk about the hardware, but you can't run your hardware without your software. So all of that is insured. With regards to the first question, I would love to suggest that you come in October and ask Randy that question. Okay, thanks.
I just want to add to that. Okay, I find that there's a lot of people when they do actually buy their mining contracts and stuff that they don't go and read their mining certificate. Okay, so do yourselves a favor, read the mining certificate. It actually tells you a lot on the insurance, on the certificate itself, what they actually allow for, what they can't give to you in a certain event. Okay, it's on the mining certificate. Okay.
Thanks again.
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to clarify just a little confusion I had in my mind. The cryptocurrency is the future currency. Just like when it was giving us the evolution of money, from cows, pigs, to coins, to notes, to the plastic money, to mobile money, eventually to digital currency. Now, there's a gentleman who actually asked about people who might not have access to internet, and I think his question was very relevant because if you're going to be talking about the movement towards cryptocurrency, everybody eventually is going to use digital currency. For instance, as an example, I'm a car guy, where we've actually moved from getting coins or small notes. We actually have speed coin machines right now. So if you've got your car guarded, we can actually do that transaction. And we would like to move to a point where we are able to do those transactions through digital currency. We're keeping up with times.
Yeah, I mean, to answer your question there, and it sounds far-fetched, but in 3 to 5 years from now, internet will be free in this country. There won't be a cost for data. So if you're in that industry, you're in the data industry. Everyone will access to a mobile phone, sort of wireless access. There's a whole bunch of communities, companies in America, and all that wanting, a whole bunch of engineers wanting that. So it's the third industrial revolution as we sort of before. So internet connectivity there won't be a cost to it.
And even though you may not have internet right now, or you might have limited, but as a car guard, you can actually already ask people to pay you in Bitcoin. If you have a wallet, they can transfer Bitcoin to you immediately to your phone. So it's already possible. So, and it costs you less. So it happens. You just need to get up to speed with technology and how to do it, and then say to someone, will you pay me in Bitcoin? And that might actually generate an opportunity for you to have a conversation with someone. Okay,
last question.
I get the last question. Okay, so just hypothetically, I'm a drug lord.
It's always got to be one.
And I get told by the CIA, are they able to get that Bitcoin out? Like, does the government or the CIA or Interpol, do they have access to Bitcoin? If I'm a criminal and I want to
Access to your wallet, is that your question?
Yes.
It's your own private wallet. So they've got access to using and possibly wherever your exchange, you're storing that. I mean, they'll be able to get into it. If they arrest you, you're going to be able to obviously open it up to it.
Okay.
It's the same as your bank account.
So they can monitor basically what happens.
They can't monitor, but if even you've got that money in your wallet and they arrest you, obviously you're going to be inclined to have to open up and say, well, this is my account. This is my wallet details. You have to store it somewhere. So I mean, where's your wallet in terms of, they won't be able to just open it up. That's your question saying, they can open it up while you're working and doing your drug lord business and get access to it now. They can't get access to it.
I was asking for a phone.
So I just want to add on to that question. If you have a look at the blockchain, so your wallet address is like your bank account. And so if you share the details of your PIN and all of those things, then anyone can obviously get into it. So your wallet address, you have a private key and you have a public key. Your private key is what you want to keep to yourself and you never ever share it with anyone else. Never. Your public key is your bank account number if you want somebody to transfer Bitcoin to you. And so you can actually go and see that transaction taking place on the blockchain. It is publicly available. So if you're a drug lord and the government knows you're a drug lord and they happen to know what your wallet address is, they can go and see it. But they need to have that information in order to be able to follow it. Okay.
No. Behind you, sorry.
I'm going to jump right away back to Juanita's previous answer just now and lay down a challenge to everyone here to say every single time you're faced with a transaction, ask them, do you accept Bitcoin? Because that opens up conversations, whether it's in the cafe, whether it's phoning someone online, wherever it is. Your role is to now educate and share to help grow the understanding of Bitcoin. So, I mean, you must see the conversations that it starts. As I say, when you do it at the cafe or at a pub or in a restaurant, those people remember that conversation. They will come back to you and start asking you a little bit more. So every single time you have to make a payment, ask the person, do you accept Bitcoin? Then you start a conversation.
All right. So that's it, unfortunately. So unfortunately, we get to the end of our session. Now let me ask you guys a question. How's that? So, did you guys find any value in the panel?
Yes.
Absolutely. Answer some great questions. Good man. Thank you very much. There you go. Okay. So now we are going to go into a quick discussion just before we get into our lunch. Okay, let me ask you this question. Everyone that has traveled more than 100 kilometers one way to get here today, please stand up. Well done. Awesome. Well done, guys. Okay, just so that if you didn't know that we are promoting events today, we're going to do it again. So, in case you didn't know, yeah. Okay, so I'm going to ask you, Anita, to come to the front just to come share with you guys again, just before we head out for lunch. And there's a reason why we're sharing it again with you guys. Okay, Anita.
Because I'm not going to put on my deep voice because I'm Doc Enter.
Yeah, so Doc Enter was going to be with us today, and unfortunately he's very sick in bed, and he's been instructed by Dr. Shaw that he is not allowed to come and make all of us sick. He's traveling on Tuesday, and he has very strict instructions to be in bed, and she's dozed him up. So I I then agreed to take the role of Doc Ant. So I think what is really important in events is that it gives us a sense of community feeling, that we belong to something. We can talk to other people who are like-minded, we can share information, and we can ask of other people, how do you deal with this, how you deal with that. And so for me, that is really a very valuable thing. And I think we all struggle with people who say, oh, yeah, no, I've got this on, oh, no, I've got that on. We all go through that. And it's unfortunately, it is part of that journey. So those people who are committed to their why and why they're involved in this business will make the time and come and invest in getting involved with the events. And for me, the events are really exciting. I love them. It's like exposes me to all of you. Gives me an opportunity to meet new people, which is really, really, really great. And so I make an effort to come to every single one, because even though I've been involved in this business for almost 3 years, every time I come to an event, I learn something new. So you're never going to be in this business and think I know it all, because you always learn something new from someone, whether that person's been a long time in the business or not. So really, people make an effort to get here. It's really important for yourself and your development. You invest in yourself, because that is what you're doing. And I don't know how many of you watched Andrew's Facebook Live recently, where he's talking about belief. Right, and a lot of people think that if I have success, I will get belief. But actually, it's not that way around. It's the other way around. You have to believe in what you are doing to achieve success. It's really, really important. Okay, if you believe, if you are feeling uncomfortable sharing with your friends that you're involved in a network marketing business, it means you do not have belief, and you have to gain that belief. That's something that I work on every single day, is the belief in what it is that I'm doing. Because if I believe in what I'm doing, it is very easy for me to go out there and talk to people about it. So work on your belief. This is what helps you build your belief, and you will gain success. So our next training event, besides obviously the October one, which is really exciting, guys, I cannot stress to you enough. I've been fortunate enough to attend one of Chris Burtich's talks. He is phenomenal. I will pay the 600 Rand just to see him. Besides all the rest of the value that we're adding, it is worth the 600 Rand just to see him. So make the time and effort. I've read his book. I recently did actually, and it was quite funny when I saw that he was going to be the guest speaker, because I recently did a Facebook Live where I spoke about Chris Burtich and his book. I did a review on his book. It is phenomenal. Without me giving it away, I just want to tell you, his story is incredible and really, really inspirational. So spend the money and get people to come. If that is the only reason why people come, it's a really, really good reason. Okay, so the next event, obviously for training, is on the 25th, I think it was, whatever it was, in September. Okay, 29th September. So there we always do that at the events, is we have an opportunity to purchase your tickets at a reduced rate. One ticket always will cost you 200 Rand. Whether you buy it today or whether you buy it in a week's time, it's going to be 200 Rand. But as soon as you start purchasing additional tickets, then you can buy 3 at 300 Rand, which means that one ticket then costs you 100 Rand, and you then have the opportunity to sell it to somebody else at 200 Rand. And what happens is that you are building up a kitty so that you can then buy tickets again in future. You're not making a profit out of it. You're just building up a kitty so that you can pay for tickets for yourself and buy more tickets in the future. And then 10 tickets at 600 Rand, so that works up to 60 Rand a ticket, and 20 tickets at 1,000 Rand. It's really worthwhile working towards that. As you start building a team, it's nice to collaborate with your team, where you all do that so that everybody can get an opportunity to come. What I sometimes do as well, so some people will say to me, oh, Juanita, we really want to come, but I haven't got the 200 Rand. Then what I'll say is, to them, okay, well, I'll help you today. Because I know that when he comes, and he pays, let's say I paid 60 Rand or 100 Rand for the ticket, I sell it to him back. I know that when that person comes next time, they are going to pay the 200 Rand the next time because they see the value in it. So I'm prepared to do that, to help them achieve their belief, because that's what it's about. If you don't believe, you don't want to invest. So I'm helping them gain the belief. So I really hope that that is helping you guys gain belief. And we are going to be selling those tickets now during lunchtime. So please go and buy your tickets. What over there? So wait, okay, in the corner. Over everybody at the back. Sorry, I see everyone sitting there. So they're ready and waiting for you to come and purchase your tickets. So go and buy them. You also then get opportunity if you bought tickets to go into a draw at the end of the day. So that is really exciting, is that you can win a couple of things. So you a three months worth of MLG, which is valued at $80 if I remember correctly. I'm just offhand now I'm thinking about it. And also win a $600 Lifestyle Galaxy voucher, and you can also books. Okay, so there's really value in it. If you already have a book and you want it, you can give it to somebody else in your team, or you can use it and you can sell it to somebody else who needs to buy it. Okay? So there are different strategies that you can apply. So stay right to the end, because if you're not here and your name comes out the hat, sorry for you. So you have to be here to be able to win. Okay. What's that, Yogi? Okay, so besides the tickets, they also have the books that you can buy. So if you don't have them, guys, please use them. What's really nice about Eric Gordy's book is that it's also available in CD. So what I do is I listen to that CD when I go to work. I sit in traffic for an hour every single day. And so that's what I do. Yes, Shane. Now you know why I'm working on firing myself from a job. Just that in itself will be fantastic, not to have to get up and sit in the traffic. But I'll tell you something, that when I listen to these CDs, it's just the time goes by very quickly and I actually don't realize. And my stress levels when it comes to the taxis are right down because I'm not focusing on them. I'm listening to what I'm hearing on my radio, and it's really phenomenal. I'm also going through, I'm listening to many of Eric Gordy's podcasts. Don't know if you've seen on our page, we advertise that Eric has introduced a podcast channel, and he interviews experts in various fields, not just in network marketing. And what that is about is that you are developing yourself and your personal development. So I download those and then I listen to them, because I don't always have time, because I work full time. I don't have the time to do all of those things. So when I'm driving, my hands are on the steering wheel, my ears are free to listen, and that's what I do. Okay. So for me, that's really, really great. And sometimes the other day, I had no petrol in my car when I left home, and I said to my husband, okay, I have to go, so I put petrol in. Anyway, off I go, start listening to the podcast, and the next minute the bells in my car go off, and I'm, what the hell? And then suddenly I realized I forgot to stop at the garage to put petrol in. I was so engrossed in what I was listening to that I completely forgot that I didn't have any petrol in my car. So unfortunately, when at that point I was on a downhill and I managed to get out of the garage, and I think I got there on just fumes. But that's how engrossed I get to it, and so it's really exciting to do. So please, everybody, support us, buy your tickets, get to the events, because they are really worth it for you. And then, okay, and then what's really important for October is that there are two things, obviously. The super recruiter. Yeah, okay. So Brandon spoke about it early on, is that if you purchase 10 or more tickets, then you're viewed as a super recruiter, and you then get the opportunity to have a one-on-one or a session with some of those leaders. Is that what you're talking about? Sorry, I'm going to sorry?
Super recruiters and those that I can.
Oh, okay. So super recruiters, and super recruiters are people who have signed up 10 and more people since the beginning of January to October. Okay?
And people who buy 10 tickets or more.
Okay. So super recruiters, if you've signed up 10 people or more between January and October, when you're reviewed as a super recruiter, and you can't be a super recruiter. So yeah, you see, I've got my. And then if you buy 10 or more tickets, you will also go and you will have the opportunity to get some one-on-one training with some of the senior leaders, which Randy, yes, correct. So, which is really great. You'll have the opportunity to ask him some questions. All those questions you asked us today, we couldn't completely answer, or just said, please come to October. You'll have the opportunity to ask him then. And in our previous national event in Durban, I ended up being involved in one of those groups, and it's really phenomenal because you are getting different kind of value that you would get in an event like this today. It's very personalized. It's really different skill levels, and so you will learn something completely different to what you will normally learn at these events. Okay. So, right, everyone, we're now going to take a break, and so I'm going to hand over to Eugenia to continue doing great work.
Thank you. Hand. Okay, so I'm going to keep it quick. We are going to break for an hour. We'll be back here at 2 o'clock. Okay. I just want to ask all the existing Value Club members that has hit the rank of GRL 3 and GRL 4. Please go and tell the people at the back that you have hit the recognition, so that we can give you recognition when we come back. Okay. See you all at 2 o'clock.
Hi guys, I hope you all enjoyed that session, and we will be back at 2 o'clock. I will send you the link by then, but have a great lunch. I know I'm going to.